All right, our final contestant for this part of the final round is Dominic Purpura, who is the founder of Mela Water. Come on up.
Hey, everybody. So my mom is probably watching this, so she's the first love of my life, but the second is Mela. I am the beyond evangelist of my product, our brand, and what we're doing. So without further ado, this is the brand that I think is going to change the world and be in every single coffee shop, every single retail store across the country, as well as be in baseball dugouts and kids soccer games. The wide range of variety of use cases is pretty much endless. So, there we go. So this is a lot, and I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed, but essentially what this is talking about is watermelons itself, right? Watermelons by nature are full with vitamins, antioxidants, they're good with hydration. Every single person here probably likes watermelons, and if not, their percentage is a little bit higher than what we're finding in coconut water, which is about 50% of the overall population likes coconut water, and we're seeing like about a 20% increase from that. So we're trying to attach ourselves to the coconut water industry and be a very similar type product. Watermelons are loaded with sugar. We have a lot of sugar in all of our flavors, but all that sugar actually comes from the watermelons itself. We don't add any sugar. And that sugar is intercellular hydrating, watermelons are an intercellular hydrating fruit, which basically in SparkNotes terms means that your body actually absorbs it better than it would a coconut water. So after a sauna, after a run, people are slamming Melas. In addition to the reason we actually say watermelon water instead of watermelon juice is because watermelons, as you probably all know as well, are 92% water by nature. So you can slam like 5 or 6 Melas and still want another one. Last thing to mention outside of just natural, all these different natural things that watermelons have is we are non-GMO and we are shelf stable. And the cans that you guys see going around, those are just our sample cans and the size that we sell online. We actually sell 16.9 ounce in stores. The key customer profile, I think this is our biggest competitive advantage compared to every other beverage that's coming out right now. And some people are like, well, you got to niche down. And I actually very much disagree. I think that anyone with an active lifestyle, and I think that there's a huge market that of people that are looking for products that are hydrating, that contain sugar, but that are a healthier alternative to something that you might find in a convenience store. So we have a wide range. Like I said, we sell it in lunchrooms in Los Angeles. We sell it in coffee shops. We sell it in healthy food stores. We sell it in gas stations in Texas. So it's a huge customer profile. This is kind of where we are right now, an overall look. We're super West Coast heavy, and we're starting to make our way down south across the United States. We launched Miami yesterday, and we're launching New York in January. This is kind of our road to the market in the near future. Next year, we're launching in Arizona, Nevada, and all the states you can see in orange. We have distribution set up and ready to rock in most of those areas. As far as, which here come the copycats, we're working at a 56% margin, and we have a 47% margin delivered to our customers. And the good news about Mela is we actually import the product. So we're setting up warehouses. We have a warehouse in Seattle, Los Angeles, and New York, soon to be Texas and Miami. And the reason that that's important and is a strategic advantage for us is because most of our distributors actually will pick up from those locations, which will increase, obviously, our overall margin because beverage is heavy, so shipping is the biggest problem. Our current manufacturing capabilities, we could do about $60 million a year revenue. So we are already looking at expanding and exploring other options in that category. And I think another competitive advantage to Mela is it actually is a very labor-intensive process to create it, which is why I think manufacturing in other areas outside of where we get it from is very difficult, and it will be tough for copycats to come. So we are looking into different manufacturing capabilities as we scale. Sustainability, we do use cans instead. And these are our retail partners. We got a lot, some of us in stores. Sorry, I didn't know the slide. And then this is something you guys can all scan. It'll kind of give you our roadmap of the future. We're in process, about to be reviewed by pretty much every retailer that we're looking at in the next year. And I think that's it. I wasn't able to say all I wanted to say, but it gives you guys a good spark notes of us. So thank you so much for your time.
Well, there may be more to say based on what the judges have questions they may have for you. Cassie, let's start with you. Dominic outlined a pretty broad consumer profile for this brand. I think 12 to 80 was the range. What do you think about sort of trying to reach all those consumers all at once?
I think it's interesting. I do think that there is someone that's looking for a sugar beverage that's an alternative, but I do think that's a wide scale. When I actually tasted your product, it was the closest thing I've tasted to an agua fresca in a ready-to-drink. Did you guys look at that at all? And have you been given that feedback? And are you interested in doing any agua fresca?
Yeah, we hear a lot of people say that this is that our watermelon flavor tastes like water, because it is. But I think a lot of beverages, the flavor of their watermelon tastes fake, where I'm sure you felt that, where it tastes like you're drinking a watermelon, and that's essentially what you are. But I would say, I don't know. I think we are we're looking into other opportunities and other flavors. Is that what you're kind of alluding to?
I would just tell you, retailers are trying to capture the multicultural consumer. One of the fastest growing, obviously, is Hispanic, and agua fresca and an authentic liquid could be magic.
Yeah, that's a great point. So one of the things that we do, we have 4 flavors. We have a pineapple, passion fruit, ginger, and I'm not going to get into what demographic likes what flavors. You guys can all obviously that yourselves. So what we're doing is we're strategically launching flavors in the demographics of the areas we're going to. For example, Texas, we just went pineapple, passion fruit, and original. So areas that are more Asian culture, we launch our ginger flavor, etc. So we're strategically rolling out our flavors that demographically fit those type of, you know what I mean, those pictures.
And in traditional grocery, one follow-up, do you see that next to Vita Coco since you're calling out
plant-based
water?
We're trying to take Vita Coco and Zico's market share. That's exactly who we're going after.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about that, Chuck, trying to take Vita Coco and Zico's market share?
Yeah, I think it's good because it's actually a plant-based water, and you're actually juicing those watermelons. You actually found a judge who has a lot of experience exporting watermelon from Vietnam. So I have some questions about what brought you there and why manufacturing there. I know the actual watermelon capabilities of Vietnam, but how did you end up? More for a founder story. What led you to this?
Yeah, so I can't take the credit for the source of where it came from, but what I can tell you is the culture there breeds watermelons. Watermelon is a Vietnamese cultural drink, similar to the story of how coconut water came to the United States from South America. It's very similar. I actually have never been there, so I'm planning on going there within the next 3-4 weeks.
Okay.
Funny enough, but from my understanding, what I've been told is it's like in America when if you're Italian, you go to your grandma's house on a Sunday and she's cooking pasta. The Vietnamese culture is a delicacy drink there is watermelon water. So I haven't experienced that yet myself, but I am.
How did you create this product?
So I actually purchased this company the beverage. It was a completely different brand about a year ago from 2 founders that were based in the Canadian border, just south of north of Seattle, in a town called Bellingham, Washington. They were in 1 or 2 stores in San Diego, which is where I was living at the time. I saw it, I tasted it, I had never had anything like it before, and I was like, this needs to be in every single store in the world. So I purchased them out the second I had an opportunity, and then we did a complete rebrand, packaged it, and revamped it. But those 2 founders that found the processes and the farmers beforehand have all the credit to how we came where we did.
Got it.
Let's get to John. Dominic said that it's so refreshing you could have 4 or 5 cans and still want to slam another one. Is that your feeling on Mela water?
I definitely feel like the original is the best. In that sense, it's kind of a good comparison to coconut water, and I think maybe just something to consider in that the flavored varieties of coconut water kind of haven't taken as well as original. I'd also say look, we've had other we've seen many other watermelon water brands, one called Watermelon Water, of course. And, you know, I think there's always just a reality that, you know, it is kind of its own thing. Like, it all tastes like watermelon, right? I mean, it's a classic, like, summertime fruit that I might caution, like, trying to recast it into, like, a healthful thing. I think the point of, you know, it being something that's, like, it tastes great, it's natural, low in sugar, everyone knows it. It's almost like, just leave it at that. Like, don't get into, like, the sugars, you know, this or that. Like, sugar is sugar. You're not going to re-educate me on that, right?
I totally
So
agree.
I think you've got a great looking brand, and, you know, the juice is phenomenal for something that's inside a shelf-stable can. And I think there's some legs to that. So kudos.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Dan, you get the last word.
Yeah, sure. I think, and thanks for being here. I think the idea is what you can do a better job of is you describe the category, but you didn't describe the brand. And so what I'd love to see is why should I love the brand? Because to the point is watermelon, you know, the taste of watermelon is fairly prevalent across, you know, a number of beverages. So that's one thing is, you know, tell us about, you know, why should I love Mela? And then the second is that, you know, going back to what the rest of the judges said, is that the category itself hasn't been fully formed. The taste profile has. So it's, you know, it's the analogous to coconut water versus body armor with coconut water in it. And so is it an ingredient or a category? And so you're probably gonna have to work real hard at establishing a category. I really love what you said about pushing against coconut water, because better taste profile for watermelons than coconut. So congratulations, good luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the feedback. Thank
Great
you.
feedback indeed. Thank you so much,
you.
Dominic. Well done. Thank you.